have to like have the conversation with you guys like live and direct. So this is why I'm gonna do this right now, right? This is why I'm doing this live and direct because this has to be said. This has to be said. What we're having right now is a cartoon moment, man. Obviously, this is a cartoon moment because we have a cartoon up here, right? And this is the very famous Tom and Jerry cartoon, right? And I just want to break down Tom and Jerry like a little bit, right? Because I infinitely know Tom and Jerry beyond ways that a normal person should really know Tom and Jerry, right? But that's neither here nor there, right? The point is, I want you to look up at this moment, man. This is Tom and Jerry cartoon, and we see Tom is, lighting a firecracker, and he's putting it on this paper plane, okay? And he's about to throw this so it goes over to Jerry. And here's the thing that's significant about this. Like, I did this in real life. Like, in real life, we did this, okay? I'm not joking you, right? Like, this is important, man. Like, this is some stuff that optimally, we need to understand each other. And obviously, I'm always like, yeah, I'm Generation X. Like, you know how we are. Everybody who's Generation X is proud of being Gen X. That's just who we are. That's definitively how we roll, right? We're always like, yeah, we're Gen X. Don't matter to us, right? Like, our generation is we're whatever, right? We know we kind of had a special role, but you guys need to understand what made us the way that we are, and it's not our fault, right? And this is another case where I'm about to show you like who it is. So again, as I always say, if you want to understand somebody, you really got to know that. You got to understand who Killer the dog was, man. You see what I'm saying? If you're going to understand Killer, you got to understand who Killer the dog was. And this is what we're getting into with Gen X, all right? So like I said, I'm Gen X. I grew up watching Tom and Jerry, man. Like I watched Tom and Jerry. Okay, I had Tom and Jerry like cookie cutters at my house. We made cookies at my house, making Tom and Jerry cookie cutters. That's how deep into Tom and Jerry dome I was. Okay, it was at that level. Okay, and look at the crazy violence of Tom and Jerry. Like Tom and Jerry is off the hook. Like Tom and Jerry is so off the hook that years later, The Simpsons, another show which is off the hook, made Itchy and Scratchy emulate, like talking about how crazy that this was, right? And so let me break it down why this matters. Like Tom and Jerry, man, this show's been on like in some form since like the 1940s. Like Tom and Jerry goes way, way back there, man. So like when you see something crazy that's gonna influence kids, you guys really gotta look at it and say, okay, it had an influence. Like you guys got Dora, right? You guys got Dora the Explorer. We got Tom and Jerry. We had a cat and a mouse trying to blow each other up and a dog jumping in. That's what we got. You got exploration and learning. We got like just insane violence for no reason. Okay? And this matters. I know we like to talk about, hey, look, it's just art, but art matters, man. Sometimes art imitates life. Sometimes life imitates art. I'm not saying that me and my homies took a firecracker and put it in a paper plane and threw it because of Tom and Jerry. I'm not saying that. I'm simply saying that it's a coincidence that both me and my homies and Tom and Jerry did the same thing. That's all I'm pointing out. There's some kind of correlation between us. And whether there is a reason for me and my friends to be taking a firecracker and putting it inside of a paper plane and throwing it, there's no reason for Tom to be doing it when now we see stuff like Dora. And I'm not saying, look, for you guys, whatever generation who grew up watching Dora the Explorer, man, that was a real gift, homie. I hope you guys did well with what they gave you because this is what we was getting, man. Like we was getting this, and it went, like it was this, man. Like, and this goes way back. Not just us, our parents also got this, right? Like I said, man. Like when you look at when you look at like Gen X, right? You want to understand why we're the way we are. Look at the generation ahead of us, man. I'm telling you, these dudes do not catch enough flack, man. They were off the hook, man. Like when we grew up during the 80s as children, right? They was the ones doing all the cocaine and Scarface and all that stuff. That was them. Who do you think Scarface was, man? Who do you think Scarface was? He was our parents' generation. That was our parents' generation with Scarface, man. Like just think about that. And I'm not saying Scarface was everywhere. I'm simply saying that. Look at them, man. I don't know who are they? Are they boomers? Yeah, man, boomers. Yeah, I'm getting that right. This boomers, man. Boomers are off the hook. And you know what? Okay. Yeah. Okay. So let's break it down. The Simpson comes like it was mad off the hook in the 40s and the 50s. And you gotta think the 40s and the 50s when it started, so you get everybody way back then. Like my mom's her gender, she's born like 1953 or something like that, right? 1950, right? So this is really when it's like she's growing up with this like in her brain cake, right? Right off the bat. This is really it. By the 60s, it's still going strong. Like Tom and Jerry is low key one of the most iconic comic cartoon series of all time, man. Like, no joke on this one, man. Tom and Jerry is legendary. I'm telling you, it was legendary up in my household too, man. It was I take no jokes about Tom or Jerry, and now I understand Tom and Jerry at different points. Like Jerry is definitely non gratis. Like if I'm really being honest, I wouldn't even want Jerry in my. I don't want Jerry in my house. Tom, it wouldn't be a problem. If Tom lived in my house, I'd be like, oh yeah, I have a cat named Tom. He's kind of a punk, and but he's trying to hook up, but he's all right. We'll put mouse traps up. Like I wish you were a mouser like that. I would rely on your instincts, but we'll put traps up too. It's not a big thing. So they've been doing this since like the 40s, 60s, right? Still going strong. They say by the 70s it started kind of slowing down. It was, Chuck Jones era, so it kind of changed up. And I grew up mainly. Under the Chuck Jones era, but we were still seeing all the old stuff. We were seeing all the stuff from the 50s. We were seeing all the stuff from the 60s. So it was still in rotationals, right? But yeah, with the Chuck Jones era, that was different. But it was still fireworks. They start toning it down, though, because they realize that. Then you get to like the 70s, like 75, they shift it to where it's more like a comedy sitcom, right? Where they even do the Tom and Jerry show. So it's a whole kind of, it's not just that. And then now they've kind of watered it down. It's a little bit more like it's whack now, right? Like Tom and Jerry's whack now in every aspect. But back then, this was a pretty cool show. I mean, but like I said, it wasn't a cool show because of what it was. It's got the fireworks just rampant, and I'm gonna say it's no joke. It's no joke that we used to be able to get big boxes of fireworks. Like I must have been like, I'm trying to think, man. I want to say like 8, and maybe I want to say like 8 years old, man. I'm being 100% honest with you, man. When I was 8 years old, somehow we got gifted a giant box of firecrackers. Like one of the homies in the neighborhood had went down to Mexico. Like I lived in California, so we weren't far, right? One of the homies had gone back to Mexico or whatever it was. Somebody had got all these fireworks, and it was blessing the hood. I don't even know if they were blessing the hood. Somehow, like a giant box of fireworks ended up in my possession. Okay, and the crazy thing about it is, I don't know if any of my family even knows this. I don't even think anybody knows this. Like, this was so epic, right, that I had dubbed this in my head the Summer of Fireworks. This is what I've been calling this since I was 8 years old. And it was me. I had two homies, man. They were brothers, Jason and Sean. They lived across the street from me, kind of catty corner, right? So, like, we had at it, man. Like, they were like, I was 8, so I was like the oldest. I was leader of pack. Then, like, Jason was like 7. He was right there. And his Shawnee was, I want to say he might have been, he was close. He was the younger brother. I don't think he was he was old enough to roll with us, at least in the neighborhood. Everybody knew each other. Our families knew each other, so we could roll. It wasn't no issues like that, right? We didn't go far. We were just right there. But that's the point. We was right there in the neighborhood, blowing stuff up to no end, and nobody even knew, right? This is what we grew up in. This is what, right? We talk about X. This is what we grew up in, man. So I'm just telling you right now, like when you cross people from this generation or run into them and you're trying to figure them out, like think about stuff like this. Think about the person who got to watch Dora the Explorer versus the person who's watching Tom and Jerry. That's the small thing that I asked you guys to do, okay? Because I'm 100% not saying that, man, I saw Tom do this, put a firecracker inside of a paper plane and threw it. I'm not saying that I did it because he did it. I'm simply saying that I also did it because we did get down with paper planes too. Like this was a skill. If you were a child, a boy, particularly in this era, right, in the early 80s, like we was always making planes. We didn't have drones. We made our stuff out of paper, like, and it got to be complex, man. I'm telling you, dudes had whole different techniques, man, that they imported from like out of all over the place. And I'm gonna tell you like this, man. Like we didn't have an internet, but somehow like phenomenons traveled to us. Like somehow we figured out this new technology on making paper planes. And dudes will be taking that to whole nother levels, man. I'm telling you, back in my day, man, 8-year-old boys, we had skills. We was bad. I had a knife collection at 8. I had a knife collection, okay? And you know what? I don't even know if my family knows. I don't know if they ever knew that stuff about me. It's utterly insane, right? And this is what I'm saying. Like this is so, and like the dudes who did it, like so the Itchy and Scratchy guys, because Itchy and Scratchy, of course, came out of this, right? Itchy and Scratchy is a parody of this. So you can imagine, like, in his generation, this is Matt Groening, right? This generation, they're all boomers. The guy who created The Simpsons, he's a boomer, okay? And those boomers had massive influence on us because we used to consume The Simpsons. Like, who do you think was consuming that stuff? Like, my parents, I don't really even know if my parents were paying attention to this stuff, right? Like, really, really, I'm telling you. And that's something that's indicative of this generation is like, we're like the least, like, parented generation ever in all time, right? And it is what it is, right? It is what it is. So I'm just like giving you guys the breakdown. Like when you see stuff, this just struck my mind because I'm just like I said, I'm literally still watching Tom and Jerry cartoons right now, today, right? I'm not playing it right now because I ain't getting no copyright strike or nothing like that. But I'm just saying, like, it's this is the influentials that was behind a lot of Generation X, man. It could have been Dora the Explorer back then, right? There's no reason that it couldn't have been Dora the Explorer back then, but it wasn't. They said we could be teaching these kids and helping them mold their brains, and we said, nah, cats with fireworks, and that's what it came down to, man. They chose cats with fireworks. Anyway, man, that's just a cartoon moment. I just thought, like, we always talk about storytelling, or at least I am, right? I'm always talking about storytelling. Well, I'm always talking about storytelling. This is part of it. This is like part of our mythos. This is like the evolution of what we saw in natures of cats and mice. Like this long-standing rivalry, the ultimate predator and this like ultimate intruder. And they've been at odds since history, man. Like their relationship formed way back, like in ancient, at least in Kemet, right? They're the reason that cats are revered in Kemet because like. When you get different types of growth, you get different types of challenges. Once they started being able to store grain, once they were doing enough agriculture to store and they had created facilities to store, then came rodents, right? Predictably, here come the goddamn rodents, right? So what the counter for the rodents was the cat, right? So the Tom and Jerry story is long, man. It's a long evolution of history of some real stuff that be popping off all the time. So I wanted to look at it and break it down because this is what they could have been selling. Could have been selling us something educational. Nah, let's get us cats and fireworks. But all right, well, I'll come back with like a more myth lab. I was just like straight off the cuff with this one, but it is what it is. Thanks for stopping in. Hit the like and subscribe, and I'll be back later with